The enterprise AI spending playbook just got a massive real world update. Salesforce committed $300 million to Anthropic token usage. We're also talking about a significant regulatory loophole in the EU AI Act that could change your deployment strategy, and XAI's Grok making a quiet but impactful move into a huge agent platform. We'll unpack what these shifts mean for you, the builder, right now. No BS AI briefing brought to you by Proactive AI. Welcome back. I'm your host, Vikash Sharma, and this is where builders get straightforward AI news without the fluff. First up, XAI's Grok has just been integrated into the Hermes Agent platform, reaching over 130,000 active users almost overnight. This isn't just another model announcement, it's a distribution play, plain and simple. What happened here is XI embedded Grok directly into an established agent infrastructure, meaning those 130,000 plus users can now leverage Grok's capabilities within their existing agent workflows without needing to adopt a separate interface or even know it's there, really. It's a smart move to gain immediate traction and put Grok directly into the hands of a large active user base. For builders, this matters because it significantly accelerates the agent ecosystem. Grok isn't just a chatbot anymore, it's now a viable backbone for autonomous task execution within a larger system. Think about that for a second. It validates the idea that agent platforms will increasingly benefit from pluggable model backends. You can decouple your model choice from your platform choice, giving you more flexibility. This move also clearly positions XAI and Grok as an infrastructure grade reasoning engine for anyone evaluating potential API partners. If you're building an agent powered product, you've just gained a new high profile option that comes with built in distribution, and that's a big deal. Next, Salesforce has made a colossal commitment, $300 million to Anthropic token usage in 2026. This isn't an equity investment or some vague partnership announcement. It's a concrete usage based agreement to spend about $300 million this year on Anthropic tokens. That's a massive amount, and it makes it one of the largest known enterprise AI token commitments we've seen to date. Their strategy is pretty clear. They'll route complex tasks, the ones needing deep reasoning and nuanced understanding, to Anthropic's Claude. Simpler, more routine tasks will go to cheaper, less powerful models. It's a tiered approach to managing AI costs and performance. Why does this matter for us builders? Well, this sizable financial commitment from a company like Salesforce signals serious enterprise confidence in Anthropic's reliability and performance at scale. It says this model works and it's worth spending big on. But more importantly, it validates the multi-model tiering pattern as the default for cost-effective AI. You don't put all your eggs or all your tokens into one basket, you optimize. This also gives us a strong pricing signal. Salesforce believes Anthropic's pricing is competitive enough for sustained enterprise level use. If you're wondering how to structure your AI spending, Salesforce just gave you a multi-$100 million blueprint. Finally, we've got some interesting news on the regulatory front, where the EU AI Act may not apply to geo-restricted models. I mean, wild, right? It sounds like a loophole, and it kind of is. Here's the gist. The Act's extraterritorial reach, its ability to regulate models outside the EU, only applies if a model is actually sold into the EU or if its outputs are used within the region. What this implies is that models geo-restricted to non-EU users, say only available in North America or Asia, might fall outside the scope of the Act entirely. The Irish National Cybersecurity Centre even noted these limits when discussing non-EU model releases. So for builders, this is huge for your deployment strategy. Geo-restriction suddenly becomes a very viable compliance tool to sequence your market entries. You can test your product and validate product market fit in non-EU regions first without immediately needing to build out that extensive EU AI Act compliance infrastructure. It's a potential regulatory arbitrage window. This approach validates using geo-restriction as a defensible compliance strategy for advanced models, allowing you to iterate faster and bring products to market quicker in less regulated environments. That's not to say you ignore compliance, but it gives you options on when and where you tackle it. The $300 million Salesforce Anthropic deal, reading the enterprise AI profit and loss statement. This is hands down the most important story in this batch. Why? Because it's a concrete spending signal from one of the largest enterprise software companies in the world. This isn't a press release about a new feature, it's a multi-$100 million vote of confidence in a specific model provider, clarifying exactly how enterprise AI budgets are going to be allocated. We're seeing a clear pattern emerge: premium, powerful models like Claude for complex, high value tasks, and cheaper models for routine, lower stakes work. This is the enterprise AI playbook playing out in real time with real money. To give you some background context, Anthropic has consistently positioned its Claude models as reasoning engines specifically built for enterprise reliability and complex workloads. Salesforce, on the other hand, has been integrating multiple AI providers across its Einstein and Copilot platforms for a while now. This deal, this massive financial commitment, indicates a very high level of confidence in Claude's ability to deliver, not just on performance, but also on cost effectiveness and reliability at a scale that very few companies operate at. They've done the math, and Claude has won a significant chunk of that budget. So, who should care about this? Well, if you're a part startup founder, you should care because it signals a long term commitment to API stability from providers like Anthropic. It also validates your own multi model strategy. Don't be afraid to use different models for different tasks. Route your complex reasoning to the premium, more expensive models, and everything else to the cheaper, faster options. If you're an infrastructure engineer, this means you absolutely must design for multi-model swappability. Your architecture needs to be flexible enough to integrate and switch between different providers and different price tiers seamlessly. Vendor lock-in here is a real risk for your product managers. It means you need to bake cost optimization into your AI features from day one. And for indie hackers, it's a lesson in cost management. You probably don't need a top tier model for every single API call. How would I think about this as a builder? This deal fundamentally shifts AI from an experimental line item to a core infrastructure cost. Think of it like your cloud bill. You're not just provisioning servers, you're provisioning tokens. For me, the opportunity here is to lean heavily into that model tiering. Don't pay top dollar for a large model to summarize a one paragraph email if a smaller, fine tuned model or even a simpler regex can do it. The risk, of course, is that token costs can quickly spiral out of control if you're not managing this carefully. We also need to be cautious about vendor concentration. While Salesforce is committing to Anthropic, it's still a usage based agreement. They could shift their budget if performance or pricing changes significantly. What I'd ignore is any hype that suggests you must use the latest, most powerful model for everything. That's just not how enterprise budgets work. My no BS take here is that this is as real as it gets. It's not about hypothetical capabilities, it's about practical enterprise spending and operational efficiency. The future of AI in large organizations isn't about picking one model, it's about intelligently orchestrating many models based on task complexity, performance needs, and crucially, cost. If you're finding this useful, hit follow in your podcast app right now. It takes 2 seconds and it's the best way to make sure you don't miss the next briefing. If you want one practical takeaway from today's episode, here it is. Experiment. Audit your model stack. Map out the tasks your product performs that use AI, assess their complexity, and then align each of those tasks to the lowest cost model that still meets your quality requirements. This isn't just about saving money, it's about optimizing your performance and reliability. Here's how to try it in under 60 minutes. First, pick just one feature in your product that currently makes AI model calls. It could be something like a summarization tool, a classification engine, or even a content generation prompt. Now trace every single model call that feature makes and try to estimate the token costs associated with it. Most providers give you clear pricing per token. Second, identify 2 or 3 tasks within that feature that you suspect could be shifted to a cheaper, perhaps less powerful model without compromising the user experience too much. Maybe it's a simple sentiment analysis or generating a short formulaic response. Third, set up a quick A B test. Run a small portion of your users through a version of that feature where those 2 3 tasks are handled by a cheaper model. Observe the performance metrics, latency, accuracy, and crucially, gather user feedback on the quality. You're looking to validate that the user experience isn't negatively impacted. Why is this specific experiment worth your time right now? Because the Salesforce deal proves that model tiering is the future of enterprise AI economics. It's not just a theoretical concept anymore, it's a multi-$100 million strategy. By auditing your stack now, you're getting ahead of the curve, optimizing your costs, and building a more resilient, efficient AI product. This is how you stay competitive without burning through your budget on every single inference. That's it for today's No BS AI briefing. If this helped, follow the show in your podcast app and share it with one builder you know. And if you've got questions or topics you want covered, connect with me on LinkedIn and send them over. See you in the next briefing.